Hello children, I hope you all are keeping well and doing your studies enthusiastically. This grave situation haven't stopped us to connect with each other. So, what do you think about an idea of playing a game? I mean to say not outdoor game but indoor game. Life is more fun if you play games. Are you all interested to play a game with me? Okay, come on, let's play a game. A very short game where you all have to identify something. So, children, before moving on to our game, I just want to clear our objectives for today's video session. Children, you have to compare the sentences and you have to differentiate it on the basis of sentence structure. You will infer the definition of transitive and intransitive based on the given sentences. Now, here is your game. Game is known as to identify SVO, and SVO is nothing but the subject, verb and object, which you have to find it out in a sentence. In a short, I will explain you what do you mean by subject, verb and object. Subject is a person or thing that is doing an action or a doer of an action. Verb means action word in a sentence to describe what the subject is doing. Object means it receives the action of the verb or receiver of an action. So children, you can look at your left hand side where I have done one example for you. Even you can use certain colors to highlight subject, verb and object. We is a subject because we is a doer of the action, doer of an action. Enjoyed means verb, it's an action word. The concert is the object, it is receiving the action of the verb, and the rest of the sentences are given to you to solve, to identify. This is a small game for you. Understood? I hope you all will write it down in your notebook and you will use different colors to highlight subject, verb and object. Okay? So student, let's see how you find it out this game. Let's move ahead. Now, after you complete your game, this will be your findings of the sentence structure. In some sentences or few sentences, you will find this kind of sentence structure which is called as S plus V plus O, where you will find subject, verb and object. This means action is done on an object. It means subject is doing an action on the object and object is the receiver of the action. This will be your first finding. And in next few sentences, what you will find, only you have subject and verb. It means action does not take place on an object. Only the subject is the doer of an action. Understood this much? So, in first, you will, which kind of sentence structure you will find? Subject, verb and object. In the rest of the sentence, you will find subject plus verb. Okay, this kind of sentences you will find. Now let's go ahead. Now what do you mean by transitive verb and intransitive verb? Transitive verbs have two characteristics. It is an action verb which is expressing a doable activity. Example, enjoyed, through, which you have done it beforehand. And it must have a direct object on something or someone to receive the action of the verb. These are the two characteristics of transitive verb. An important point to note, in transitive verb, it will always answers the question what. Let's see a few example. In that sentence, he enjoyed what? We have seen in our game, first example was given, he enjoyed the concert. He enjoyed what? It will give you the answer, the concert. Next sentence was there, he threw the ball. He threw what? The ball. It means it is answering the question what. It has a direct object. So that is known as transitive verb. I hope it is clear to you what do you mean by transitive verb. Next, intransitive verb. In intransitive verb, we do not have a separate object. Means when no direct object follows an action verb, the verb is called as intransitive. We will just refer to our sentences again. The action verb like broke and is sleeping is not followed by any direct object. Understood? What we have seen? The glass broke, the baby is sleeping. It does not have any direct object. An important point to note, if you ask question what to the verb, you will not get an answer. Understood? That's why it is known as an intransitive verb. I hope it is clear to you. Now, let's see few more examples to clear the grammar topic of transitive verb and intransitive verb. Okay, transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive that action. And intransitive verb are action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they do not have an object receiving the action. If I give you one verb, bake, okay, so there I bake some cookies. I baked. If I write that much, then I bake some cookies. I is a subject, bake is a action verb, some cookies is a receiver of an action. Understood? And if I write only I baked, then what will happen? Only subject is there and verb is there, but we don't have the receiver of an action, or we don't have object over there. Understood? You can also read and write the next sentences which are given to you. Let's see ahead. Now I have one exercise for you where you have to pick out the verbs, okay, and you have to state whether they are transitive or intransitive. Understood? This is an exercise 1, and we have one more exercise for you where you have to use the given verbs in the table and frame the sentences in both ways, transitive and intransitive. So few words are given to you, verbs are given to you: help, agree, write and speak. I hope I have given lot of examples to you wherein it will help you out to make different sentences for transitive and intransitive verb. Now you have to use this verb only. If you are using help, it should be there in your transitive, where you should have subject, verb and object structure, and intransitive you should only have subject and verb. Understood? In this way you have to make a sentence, or you have to frame a sentence based on this verbs. Okay? Now, what we have done in the whole video so far, We'll just quickly revise it. We have differentiated sentences based on the sentence structure like subject, verb and object, and also subject plus verb. We have learned the definition of transitive and intransitive verbs and its rules. Thank you so much, children, for seeing the video and listening to me patiently.